Hey what's up guys, Bryce here, and we're back at it again for another video. And in this video we have another radical race. Now this race was a very entertaining race, and it definitely had a lot of action here. So if you want a good race, this is definitely the one to watch. So yeah, let's get right into it. Qualified in 9th position. We get a decent start. We pass one car on the left hand side, and then we just want to make it through the first couple of corners as clean as we possibly can. That'll move us into 8th place, and the standings do take a little while to update on the first lap, so that's probably why it's not showing at the moment. But I did hit one of the curbs in qualifying just a little bit too hard, and I lost half a second, and just one little mistake like that will send you down the order. And this race was definitely going to be a good one because I needed to at least get in the top 5. That was my goal. So making it cleanly through lap 1 is really important. We have P7 right in front of us. It's really just a hit or miss if you want to pass on lap 1. But I just took the chance, took that risk, and we go down the inside nice and cleanly. He left the door open, and I just felt confident enough to throw it on the inside, even with cold tires, and we get ourselves up into P7. And now we have a few cars in front of us that we definitely want to catch. As long as we stay with the slipstream, then we should be good. If you've ever driven the Radicals before, that's the car that we're driving. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who are new to iRacing, I kind of want to explain it. The slipstream is really powerful with these cars, and if you've driven them, you definitely know what I'm talking about. As long as you can get in a little train here, like up in front, I'm trying to catch up so that I can just follow them and kind of all pull each other forward in this race. That was kind of the goal. But again, I wanted to be in that top 10 position. In iRacing, there's a ranking system, and if you are in that top 10, you'll get iRating, which will basically increase your ranking in iRacing. But if you're below that top 10, you won't be getting iRating. So being in the top 10 is really crucial. So that's kind of why you want to be in that good position. This is basically competitive racing at its best right here. iRacing, I think, is the best online system. It's just very organized in iRacing itself, and it's a lot of fun. But sometimes you will have some people who just don't know how to drive, honestly, and you'll see a few examples of that in this video here. So it is what it is. Some things are out of your control, but again, qualifying in the top 5, which is kind of average for me, would have been a lot better than being in the position I am now, because I am definitely faster than these guys. But it's really easy to be fast, but it's hard to pass on a track like this also. So we're up to this car right here in P6, and we're right behind him, and we're just gonna kind of put pressure on him to see if he can crack. Again, it's really still the early stages of the race. I don't know what urgy is, but it's the early stages of the race. So you want to be clean, you don't want to do anything dumb, and you kind of just want to be patient and wait for either him to make a mistake. I feel like one of my strengths is being consistent, and if someone isn't consistent, consistency is way better than speed. And if you're fast and you can be consistent, that's even better. But a lot of people aren't that consistent, so you'll see that some people do make mistakes, and you can easily get by them without having to try that hard. Now, this car behind us that I passed on lap 1, I was just glancing in my mirrors throughout this race, and I could kind of tell that he was a little bit aggressive, a little bit kind of all over the track. I could just tell that he was braking late, getting very close to me, and kind of leaving a little bit on the straights. And not that really put me on edge, but I just thought, okay, I have to be careful, because if he does try to do some dive bomb, just to watch out, because it's better to let somebody go if they're gonna drive like that than to get involved in a fight. You could crash, you could lose a spot, and you'll see what happens in these upcoming laps that really paid off, and I didn't have to deal with an accident, which is not what we want. So 20 minutes left in the race, only a 25-minute race for these Radicals. It's all about, like I said, being consistent and lap after lap hitting every single apex. And this is the lap that you'll see he's kind of on the inside there. So just being mindful that he was there and that he could, pounce on me. I have to be very aware of that. And you can just see how fast these things are going through the corners. They're super lightweight, a lot of downforce, and a lot of power as well. We try to get a late apex on this car here, and look how close we get. We have to dab on the brakes just a little bit so we don't go into the back of him, and we're gonna move to the right here and just kind of wait for things to play out. and just see what happens. We look in the rearview mirror, there's the car behind, he goes down the inside, but we cut back and we get him and this other car on the inside. We're side by side, we leave room. Now it's going to be a drag race to the next corner. That is why you have to be careful, because I did move out the way or I would have gotten hit. So we overshot the corner and I was able to get him and this other car here. It's going to be a drag race all the way down to this corner. I made sure that I stayed as tight as I could to the right hand side, so it was pretty much guaranteed that I had that inside line. Going through the corners side by side, it's going to be this right-hander, then a left. We need to brake later than he does to carry it around this corner. On the gas as soon as we could. Last corner of the track here, we keep it tight to the inside. There he is on the outside, and we basically got that move done and avoided a crash. He's going to move to the inside. We're not going to defend. We're going to go side by side into turn 1, and we're going to hang on here for dear life. The next corner, we're going to have that inside line. We move to the right to conceal this position, and there we go. Up into P5, which is a really good position, and just like that in P5. So now it's just all about being consistent and catching the guys in front of us, so we can really officially get in that top 5 position and hopefully on the podium in that race. And that's kind of what was going through my mind, but that did not happen in this race. We had some other trials and tribulations that we had to go through, unfortunately, but that's kind of the way it is in iRacing. So at this point, I'm kind of in no man's land. The gap in front is 2 seconds. The gap behind is we're pulling away because they're kind of doing their own little battle here. So being consistent is really key. We have 18 minutes left in this race. A lot can happen. We can easily make a mistake, or someone else can make a mistake, and we can catch up. If you guys do enjoy these videos, be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe as usual. This race was a little while ago, but here we go. We have 10 minutes left in this race. We weren't able to really catch up to the guys in front. I think we got P4 just by passing someone who went off, but we are getting pressure behind from this purple car. And yeah, I wasn't really feeling that much pressure from him, but I could tell that he was definitely there and he definitely wants his position. The pace didn't really drop off, but the slipstream is powerful, so I wasn't able to. I kind of kept the same gap in front, but he is behind us nice and close, and you will see here what happens. Going into the double right-hander, we take, our normal line on the brakes, didn't expect anything, and then all of a sudden the rear just spins around, we get hit again, and this will put us in the grass, and we dropped 4 places. We're gonna drop 2 more places here. We're gonna try to turn the car around, avoid everyone, stay to the right, just get out of everyone's way so we don't cause any accidents, and we're gonna lose 1, 2, and then we're gonna lose another position on the left here. And from this 8-minute mark, it's just going to be raw footage of what happened in this race, because a lot happens in these last 8 minutes, because we pretty much, got hit. It wasn't our fault. The guy behind just broke a little bit too late, and there was a little bit of netcode. He did apologize for that. Again, I wasn't really upset about it. I was just like, it happens. I wish it didn't happen, but we're just going to keep on moving forward, and now we're in P13. Just like that, in the snap of a finger, from P4 to P13, it can happen. So now we really need to put in some work to get in front, but you'll see on this, I think it's on this lap, that it just didn't go the way I wanted. The momentum is just completely shifted right now. We have these guys that were in the back. We're just so close to them, and we want to get past them as soon as we can. But the momentum is shifted because I was in a really good rhythm. I was hitting all my apexes, and then I got damage, and the momentum is just shifted. I'm not in that groove anymore. I got things on my mind. Question myself, why did that happen? And it's very difficult to stay focused. You can see we missed the apex completely, go to the runoff. It's super bumpy, so that's going to slow us down, and we are basically getting swallowed by 3 cars right now. They're all slipstreaming me. We have the number 6 car on the right of us who's going to easily breeze by us, and we're on the outside here. Again, I still have damage, so I kind of want to be mindful that I don't want to ruin these guys' races because they're having their own battle. And we get passed by 3 cars just like that, and we're down in P16. So a little mistake from missing that apex, you'll lose a ton of positions. I think we just let this guy go on the right hand side because he was on the inside. Again, at this point I'm not really fighting for much. I'm basically fighting for the last spots, so I didn't want to ruin these guys' races, but I did want to fight them and get back to that top 10 as soon as I could. But we still have 6 minutes left, a lot of time to really make up some ground. Like I said, momentum shifted, tires were overheated at that point. We need to get back into a rhythm if we want to pass a decent amount of cars so we can get back in that top 10, and you'll find out if that happens soon enough. All about getting a nice line through that corner there and just trying to get on that gas as smoothly as you can and throttle stepping at the end, going down to this double right-hander, the famous corner where bad things and good things can happen. We brake super late and you'll see somebody's locking up, one out wide just a little bit, but I could use that to my advantage to get a late apex. Kind of made that mistake, but turned it into an opportunity to get a nice slipstream down this back straight here. We're behind the number 11, I believe, of this blue car. He moves to the outside and he's going to try to either swing it around the outside of the red car. So I'm just kind of going to hang behind and just watch and see what happens, which is what we do. We're going to try to make a move down the inside, staying tight so we can possibly be side by side. We don't do it. We're going to get a late apex here, which will allow us to get a little bit of speed, but then it's going to get cut short because of that right-hander. And now we're on the back straight for another lap and 5 minutes remaining. So this is about 4 laps left in this race and we haven't made any progress. We have just been doing terrible. The lap after this one, 5 minutes left again. Again, not making any progress at the moment. We need to do something. We need to just keep doing what we're doing, honestly, and just hope that something will happen up in front, or that we can just somehow eke out some pace in the last 5 minutes of the race. And the tires are definitely falling off at this point, so maybe we can use that to our advantage and see if we can pounce some people who just haven't really got to grips yet with the car. Breaking down for the double right-hander again. This red car goes wide a little bit. You can see they're all over the place. They're having their own little battle there. And again, another opportunity for us to get that late apex and see if we can get a nice slipstream on this back straight. This track is very beautiful, by the way, just kind of driving through these trees, and you can see how wide it is. It can easily fit 4 or 5 cars, I think. So this back straight is a really good passing opportunity, but so difficult because the corner up here isn't a hard braking zone. It's a fast right-hander. You just have to flick it in and just kind of hope for the best and set yourself up for these last 2 corners. Last corner is definitely a good passing opportunity. As we show here, we dive down the inside of that car and move ourselves up into 15th place. It was a risky move. I honestly wasn't planning on it, but I just decided to go for it. And he's going to be there on the inside. We're going to keep this outside line because, again, the next corner at this one is going to be a left-hander. So we'll have that inside line. There he is on the outside. We're going to brake as late as we can and just stay tight to the inside so we don't make any contact and we get that move done. And again, P15. I kind of surprised myself with that move, but you kind of have to take a risk like that, and honestly I didn't really have anything to lose at this point in the race. And we have some more battling going on up in front of us, 4 or 5 cars, just a little train here. I'm towards the back, but we're trying to make it through, and you can see he locks up. We're so close. We're on the brakes a little bit there, and the engine kind of bogged down a little bit, but we still got this late apex on that corner, and look how close we are. We get off the gas just a slight bit, I believe here, just so we can kind of tuck in and get that slipstream. We move to the left, get that slipstream, so we can kind of carry a lot of speed down to these 2 right-handers. Didn't really help me that much, honestly, because I did fall back a little bit, but I tried it, just trying anything at this point. Middle of the track, and I'm going to try to hug this right-hander, but the car's just understeering out wide at this stage in the race. And you can see that blue car's back for more. He does the same thing that I did to him. He tries to go down the inside, we go on the grass, and just like that, we lost that position, and we're back in P16. Again, I didn't want to fight it too much. I could kind of tell that he wanted to. He didn't like that I passed him on the inside there, and he wanted to get that position back. So once I gave it to him, I didn't put up too much of a fight. 2 minutes left in this race, 2 or 3 laps left. What can we do? Can we get this position back? What is going to happen? At this point in the race, just try to do my best, really, and that's kind of what happened. He did do a nice move there on the inside, but it was my mistake for going out wide and on the grass, which cost me time. And now I'm sitting shy of a second behind this giant train here now. Just a little mistake, like I said, can cost a lot. Even though I say it a lot, it is very true. One mistake can cost you a lot. We have a slow car on the right-hand side here, and as I'm driving past, I kind of look, and it is the guy who kind of did a dive bomb towards the beginning of the race, so we just kind of blow right by him. I'm not really sure what the problem is with him, but apparently we don't. He's still there on the inside, and his car had a little bit of latency issues there, or lag issues. He kind of just starts bouncing around the track there. You can see from that camera shot there we had a lot of damage. But yeah, I thought we got past him there, but we actually didn't. He's still in front of us, and this is going to mean that we're going to need to have to pass another car pretty much, and we're kind of falling back just a little bit. This race was actually last week, and the races that they're doing now is I believe they're at Watkins Glen. And I'm going to be live streaming very shortly within the next 2 weeks. I'm definitely going to be setting it up, so you'll be seeing that. I did do live streams when I first started doing iRacing. and you can actually find it on my channel. They actually did pretty well. But I do have to give props to people who can commentate and race at the same time, because it is very difficult. Anyway, back to this race. You can see just carnage. We got past that blue car there, and these guys are all over the place. I'm not really sure what's going on. We have a yellow car slow on the right hand side that's going to give us 2 positions and move us up into P14. And now we are in the slipstream of the 2 cars. For some reason, he goes all the way to the left onto the grass, and we're going to get that position in P13. At this point in the race, we have a minute left. So this is probably going to be the last lap of the race, which means I think the best we can do is maybe pass this car in front of us right here. We get a good exit coming out of the last corner. It's all or nothing going into turn 1. We move to the inside. We brake super late. A little bit of contact there, and we just slide through on the inside. And that was a very, very risky move and quite aggressive move as well. There was contact there, but somehow I was able to make it through, and that'll put us up into P12. Last lap of the race here, final lap, and then we'll see that checkered flag. We brought the car home, which is all that matters, really. But again, wasn't in that top 5, but we were able to come home, at least, you know, finishing the race, considering all that happened. We have this right-hander here, cars all over the place, snaps of oversteer. That exit curb is super bumpy, and again, I'm still pushing all the way to the end here, because you never know what can happen. I could be a 1/10 of a second behind one car if I'm really just pushing the limit. On this back straight here, you can see the guys behind are quite far back, so we won't have any threat of them to worry about. Last 2 corners here, we're going to flick it in on the inside, just hug tight to the inside, not taking any risks on the last lap, but still pushing. 3rd gear, going to this last corner, sometimes breaking down to 2nd, but 3rd seems to be quicker, and we're going to come across the line to finish P12. So what a race. What a race from P9. I think it was P9 we qualified, then to P4, and then basically 16th, and then to 12th. So a lot of things in these races kind of aren't in your control, but that was a fun race. I honestly really enjoyed that one. It was very entertaining, and it was a lot of fun having those side-to-side battles with other people. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.